Greetings, fellow detectives. Wizard Kitten 774 here, bringing you the next video in our walkthrough for Nancy Drew Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. We just got the spark plug from Red last night, and he also wants us to take some pictures of birds, but let's go try to fix the boat first. We can take pictures of birds later. So we already fixed the screws in a previous video, so now we just need to put the spark plug in and hope that we did the screws correctly. And the only way we find out is by turning on the boat. Let's see. Should we go? Let's go to M's Emporium. Aha! It worked! So, if you do the screws incorrectly, then the boat explodes. And it will explode before you kind of see the picture. So, we did it correctly, and we didn't blow up, which is awesome. So this is M's Emporium. Let's go meet Emily Griffen, the owner.
Hey there! Welcome to M's Emporium. I'm Emily Griffen.
My name's Nancy Drew. I'm staying out at the old Malone place. You know, the house Sally McDonald bought.
Now what's she doing inviting guests out to that old dump?
She's got a little problem she's hoping I can solve. But right now, I need a chainsaw.
A chainsaw?
A tree fell down in the driveway behind my car, and now I'm blocked in.
I'll get Tucker Davis to take care of it. Gotta warn you, though. Tucker tends to do things in his own sweet time. So how come Sally ain't with you?
She couldn't stand the thought of spending another night in that house.
I told her. I said, Sally, that old house is gonna be nothing but trouble. And sure enough, Malone's hounds have come back. Just when we all thought they were finally resting in peace.
When was the last time they appeared?
Seems like they show up every time somebody buys the place. So the last time would have been 10, 15 years ago.
Oop.
Have you ever seen the dogs?
Nope. Don't want to, neither. Just hearing them howl's bad enough. Scares the bejeebies out of me.
I got the bejeebies scared out of me twice last night. Just before I saw the dogs, I caught a man named Red Knot prowling around outside the house.
The bird watcher. Comes in every so often to stock up on that weirdo food he eats. You know how them tree hugger types are.
Has he been in the area long?
About as long as those pink-billed warblers and purple-eyed owls he's always chasing have been around. Couple of months, I guess.
Purple-eyed owls? I don't think that's a thing.
Mr. Knott did me a favor, and in return he asked me to pick up a cassette player from you.
Oh yeah, I got it right here. Thought maybe the old coot had forgotten he left it here.
How do I take...
What
oh,
else can I do you for?
These so-called ghost dogs left very real paw prints. I saw some near the cemetery that's by the Malone house. Have you ever been there?
Can't say as I have. Poking around cemeteries ain't exactly a hobby with me.
Does the name Waldo Matthias mean anything to you?
Can't say as it does.
Where do you find your... Achoo!
Bless you. It's all the dust. Sometimes I think it grows on this stuff.
Some of those old bottles are beautiful. Where'd you get them?
Found 'em. See, back in the days of Prohibition, that old Malone place used to be party central. Only way to get to and from back then was by boat. And when those boats dumped, on account of bad weather or bad driving or the feds suddenly showing up, well, everything from diamond necklaces to full bottles of illegal booze sank to the bottom of the lake.
So, it's finders keepers, huh?
That's right. See, recovering objects from the lake bed is illegal. According to Squeaky Wheel Akers, dragging the lake for artifacts was upsetting its delicate eco-balance. So thanks mostly to his constant squawking, the state banned it.
Squeaky Wheel Acres?
Jeff Akers, local park ranger. I keep telling him all this stuff washed up on shore. But does that snobby little stickler for rules believe me?
Sounds like you aren't real fond of Ranger Acres.
Jeff Akers could take all his precious rules and regulations and take a flying leap. Now, I got nothing against getting more customers in here, mind you. But I kind of like Moon Lake the way it is. Small, quiet, out of the way. But Jeff Akers, why, there's nothing he'd like better than to see all the lake and all the property around it turned into one big, noisy, jam-packed state park.
Why would he want that?
He's the type of guy who likes to boss people around, makes them feel important. So if the park got way bigger and was crawling with tourists, why, instead of giving out maybe 1 ticket for littering every 2 days, he'd be giving out 12 tickets every 2 hours. He'd be in heaven. Well, hey, I'm sure you got better things to do than getting your ear chewed off by yours truly.
I need to buy something.
You want it? I got it. As long as you pay cash, that is.
Right now, cash is kind of a problem for me. Do you think we could do some kind of trade-out?
You scratch my back, I scratch yours, huh? Seeing as how you're a friend of Sally's, and seeing as how I got some things around here that could use doing, I guess we could work something out. What is it you need?
Do you sell sandpaper by any chance?
I do, but Mr. Birdbrain was in last week and cleaned me out. Said he was tired of that observation platform of his giving him splinters in his hinter regions.
Think I could get some from him?
He's your only hope, but you better ask him for it quick. That deck of his is pretty big, and those squares I sold him are pretty small.
Guess I'll see you later.
Keep on trucking.
Alright, what do we got in here? Let's do some... Oh, there's Cocoa Kringles, which we were introduced to for the first time in the last game, Secret of the Scarlet Hand. Got... live bait, huh? What do we got here? Ooh, worms. Ew! Ew! She says it so weird. The stained glass windows in here are pretty cool. M. Benson Aviation. Millie gets you there. There was a character in Stay Tuned for Danger named Millie. Buy a piece of the past. 80 years ago, Moon Lake was crawling with gangsters, flappers, and jazz musicians from the big city. They traveled to and from parties by boat and were so rich that if they accidentally dropped something in the lake, they wouldn't even bother going after it. Well, it'd be kind of hard to go after it. Have you ever dropped something in a lake? You're really not going to get it back unless you're in really shallow water. Each item you see here was fished out of Moon Lake and most likely belonged to some wealthy big shot, by legal means. Don't go home without buying at least one genuine artifact from the Roaring Twenties. Okay. It's cool though, these like old plates, and the fact that they were kind of fished from a lake. By legal means, of course. Let's go over to the ranger station now. We need to meet this squeaky wheel Akers that we've been hearing about. This place is cool. It's got a lot of little exhibits talking about kind of the nature in the area. I think it was nicely done. It feels very authentic for a small little park.
Hello, can I help you?
Hi, my name's Nancy Drew. I'm visiting Sally McDonald. Are you the park ranger?
Park Ranger Jeff Akers, at your service. Let's see, Sally McDonald is the woman who bought the old Malone place.
That's her. Unfortunately, she seems to have developed a problem of the canine kind.
Don't tell me she believes all that ghost dog stuff.
So you know the legend?
I know almost everything about this area. Not only have I lived here all my life, but you're standing in the unofficial Moon Lake Museum of Factual and Natural History. I'm its equally unofficial curator.
What's your take on all this ghost dog stuff?
Whatever's out there, I'm sure they're no more and no less than exactly what they look and sound like. Dogs. Living, breathing, very noisy dogs.
Why do you think dogs would attack Sally's house?
Dogs can be trained to do almost anything.
Any idea what would make a dog's eyes glow yellow?
Something in their diet, maybe? Some oddball vitamin or protein.
What do you know about the cemetery behind the Malone house?
People are buried there. Beyond that, what's to know?
Is Malone buried there?
That's the rumor.
The inscription on one of the tombstones reads Waldo Matthias. Does that name ring any bells?
Not in my steeple.
Would you mind mailing this letter for me?
Not at all.
Do you have something I could use to test the well water at Sally's?
Sure do. Simple to use, too. Just pump some water into this vial, return the sample to me, I'll send it off, and in a day or two you'll find out whether or not your water's fit to drink.
Easy enough.
Does everyone out here have a well?
Everyone who doesn't want to die of thirst does. Hooking up to a municipal water supply is out of the question. Too expensive.
Would it be okay if I looked around?
Please do. And if you have any questions, any more questions, just ask.
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here. Oh, and one last thing. The deer mouse population has boomed this year, so please take precautions if you're cleaning out any area where they may have nested. They can carry some nasty diseases.
Thanks for the tip, Ranger Akers.
Alright, so we got a water testing kit. Let's see. How old is this tree? Did you know that the growth rings on a tree indicate its age and the environmental conditions in which it grew? I did know that the rings did age, not, like indicated age, but I learned in this game that the farther apart they are, rapid growth begins again. Yeah, so in the, I can't speak. When the rings are close together, that means that they were growing rapidly. And when they're broad and evenly spaced, it indicates healthy growth. Which is kind of interesting. That would be a big tree. Jeesh. Let's see what else we got. Hey kids, check out Moon Lake's nature highlights. Chipmunks, squirrels, white-tailed deer, skunks. Pretty standard for the northern United States. We've got all these in the Midwest where I live as well. Part of the reason why I like this game so much, it's so relatable. Moon Lake, so this one tells a little bit about Moon Lake. About its critters, its birds. Fishing regulations. Boating regulations. Hiking tips. Hiking tips are kind of fun. Helpful. Park and wildlife info, poison ivy. Learn to identify poison ivy. The popular saying, leaves of 3, beware of me, is a good rule of thumb for poison ivy. Some people are very sensitive to poison ivy. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that, everyone is kind of allergic to poison ivy, but some people are more than others. Hantavirus, carried by the deer mouse, which is why Ranger Akers told us to be careful. Giardiasis, I think is how you say that. Giardiasis, yep. If you drink infected water, Lyme disease with ticks. Ugh, I hate ticks. Ticks are nasty. Forest fire prevention. What else? Over here, there's some more information too. Some local artifacts. Kind of cool. The Civilian Conservation Corps. When the United States was in the throes of the Great Depression, presidential candidate Franklin D. Roosevelt recognized that the country was facing two very serious problems. Its natural resources were rapidly being destroyed by soil erosion and deforestation, and thousands of able-bodied men were unemployed and desperately looking for work. So when he was elected, Roosevelt immediately compelled Congress to pass the Emergency Conservation Work Act. It called for the establishment of a peacetime army of men who, stationed at various camps throughout the country, would undertake work projects that would save and revitalize the nation's forests while allowing the men to earn much-needed paychecks. That just sounds like a really good idea on all sorts of levels. Not only are people getting jobs, but then they also are protecting the natural resources of the country. Pretty cool. Located in all 48 states as well as the territories of Hawaii and Alaska, ranging from building roads and fire towers to stringing telephone lines to planting billions of trees. When the CCC was abolished in 1942, it had left its mark on every state in the nation. It's cool. And then a lot of the information that we read on the posters is also here in the computer. So if you want information priming a pump, you can read it here. This is a good place to come if you get stuck in the game, because a lot of the information you need can be found here. Let's see, history of Moon Lake. Famous residents. We can learn more about Mickey Malone here. That's cool. That must be one of Malone's dogs. In the early 20th century, many celebrities from the East Coast spent time here, including Florence Ziegfeld, famous producer of Broadway musicals and revues. In fact, in 1926, his boat, the Folly King, ran into the rocks at the north end of the lake and capsized. Nobody was hurt, but rather than going to the bother of repairing the boat, Ziegfeld simply left it there. Legend has it that for years a local dog would swim out to the wreck every day and lie on it, barking at everyone who came near. The boat gradually disintegrated until now no trace of it remains. Ben Franklin. Moon Lake has had some infamous residents as well. In 1925, at the height of Prohibition, Mickey Malone, a gangster from Philadelphia who got rich smuggling and distributing illegal liquor, built a house on the North Shore at the site of the old Retsky Farm. People came from up and down the East Coast to attend the parties he threw at Moon Lake. He was convicted of tax evasion in 1933 and sent to prison, where he eventually died. So there's a little bit of background on the guy that owned the cabin that we're living in now. A little bit of information on the Lenape tribe. About Jeff Akers. Park Ranger Jeff Akers was born and raised in Tyrone, Pennsylvania. Upon graduation from Norris High School in 1989, he attended Penn State, where he earned a bachelor's degree in park and recreation management. He has been the park ranger at Moon Lake State Park since 1996. He knows his stuff. Interesting. Alright. That's probably enough. We can't open this yet.
I probably shouldn't mess around with this without Ranger Akers' permission.
Or we can open it, but we can't do anything with it. Since we don't have permission. Nancy doesn't often ask for permission, but this is apparently one case where she does. So let's go back to Sally's house. We have some pictures we need to take for Red. I'm trying to decide if we should do that in the next video. Yeah, we should probably do that in the next video. I'll leave this one here, and I'll see you in the next video, fellow detectives. Thanks for watching.